this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our little, use up your crafting kind of mistakes, or your crafting supplies that, you wish that you hadn't bought or that you're no longer going to use, things like that. You have to excuse my hands. I have obviously been already making some of these and trying this out prior to obviously starting the video. So what I'm going to try and use up today, well, not use up, far from use up, but use some of my foam pieces. I don't know about you guys, but I was a bit of a sucker. I went through a stage of buying these foam letters. I thought they would be really fun for birthday cards. I mean, obviously the problem was you would buy them in a big mixed, like a tub, and you had tons of letters that you really would struggle to use. So, hence I now have lots of foam left. And I also bought these metal letters, which I don't even know really what to call these, but I bought some of these obviously when I was scrapbooking and things, and again exactly the same. They came in a pack with, a whole bunch of different letters, and obviously there were lots of letters that, I wasn't really likely to then use. So I'm now stuck with obviously lots of letters that, I'm going to struggle to actually kind of ever use really. So I've just brought along some today and just thought what I would do is alter these, and I have tried a few to make sure that it does actually work, just in case it obviously didn't. So what I'm going to try and do is alter these to make like flower centres. So the other thing that this is also using up a little bit is I went through a phase of buying these liquid pearls things. Again, I don't overly use them, but I bought them. I think they were like in a little pack of maybe like 10 different colours. So again, I haven't really used those. And the other thing that I also bought was, again, in a pack. I mean, these tended to be from that shop TK Maxx. I think it's TJ Maxx. Obviously in America, and they obviously have, like, I don't know whether it's ends of lines or what they have. So because they obviously have very limited supplies, it was kind of like the best of a, not very big selection of stuff that I would try and then buy just to feel like I was obviously buying something. I did, don't get me wrong, use some of the things, but obviously some of the things I've really not particularly used at all. So, yeah, I thought I would just make some flower centres with some of these little pieces that I've got here left. So I've had this liquid pearls for so long, it had like dried up beyond salvageability. So I've cut it open, and then what I did was just dabbed it onto my finger. Really messy, hence the whole very messy hand there. So I'll go around the edge a little bit as well to cover up obviously the lilac, like that. Now what I tried to do was make it a little bit sort of textured on there. So if I just now, and I could have done with getting my poke tool out before my finger was really messy. Let me just use this. Hold on. Right. So what I've tried to do is kind of leave the top a bit bumpy and textured, and so that, oops, it will be slightly raised, once it's done. So I don't know whether you can see that. I mean, obviously I don't want it pointy, but I do want it slightly textured. So just do the same with this one. Oops. Very messy task, this. So I'll just go around the edge slightly like that. And I mean, you can always obviously finish in, doing the edge later. So again, I'm just going to do that a little bit more. Just try and hold it down with my little pin here. And what I did when I did my test ones was I obviously did 2 coats. So, I mean, therefore, it doesn't really matter that this isn't all covered. Oh, look, I've now got them stuck all over me. Because you can come back and do another coat. So just, bear that in mind, that you don't have to worry too much if it's not coated particularly well. So I've got those in that colour. Should we do some in a different colour just so it's a bit more interesting than just all of them in the same colour? Don't know whether this one's going to work or whether this also is dried up. Oh no, look, that one's working perfectly. So, in fact, oozing out, can't wait to come out of the bottle. There we go. Just go slightly around the edge. And obviously the nice thing about this one, it's pink already, so you know, it doesn't take too much covering up with the liquid pearls. Now, I'm sure that somebody here would have a much better technique of this, to be honest. I mean, you could kind of like probably stab these, you know, kind of like hold them like a marshmallow on a stick. Whoops. Well, I say that, perhaps you couldn't. Oh, that one's... You know, you could do something like that. So, I mean, let's try that. I don't know how well that's on that stick, but just to give an example, you know, there are obviously different and / better techniques here for doing this. And I'm sure that all of you will come up with much better techniques, and I'll have lots of comments saying, why didn't you just, you know, do this, that and the other? Well, because I'm not really that great at thinking about how to do things. Before I know it, I'm just doing it, and regardless of my technique, really. So I'm going to try some green just for something a bit different. Will I say that if it comes out? Oh, luckily it is. Oh my gosh, isn't that the most gorgeous colour green? Really love that. I have to say the stabbing for the marshmallow on a stick technique did work quite well. So again, I mean, I should have obviously done that first. Oh my gosh. Again, I find myself wondering whether people are actually watching my videos for the tutorials and the crafty bits, or actually just for a hilarious kind of experience of how not to craft. I'm not really too sure. Possibly the latter. Possibly the latter. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Right, let's try and pop that down. Okay, now the next one, I'm going to be organised and I'm going to put it like a marshmallow on a stick already. There we go. Okay. Right, we go round like that. Okay, right. So again, just going to struggle obviously to now get that off of the stick. There we go. Oh, come on. There we go. Right. As I say, I gave them 2 coats anyway. Look at me now. Gave them 2 coats anyway, so it's really not the end of the world. So that's what I did with the foam. And then what I did with these metal ones. So I'm going to move these foamy ones out of the way for a few moments. Okay. Right. What I did with these was I just covered them in glossy accents and glitter. So I'm just going to dab on my glossy accents. And again, I've not really thought this through very well because they're now all on the same piece of card. Let me put a couple on a different piece so that I can at least mix up the colours of glitter that we're using. Okay. So let's take these 2 first. So what I will do is I'm going to pour on this, I don't know what colour you would call this, but this weird purpley, I don't know. It's purple, but you know, with kind of like flecks of other things mixed in. Iridescent, maybe? I don't know. So I'm just going to pour the glitter all over there like that. And then I'm going to just press it in to the glossy accents. Oops. Oh, now look what's happened there. I mean, obviously, I did try one of these out. Oh my gosh, look. Before the video, and it was shockingly fine. I think my techniques have obviously got sloppier because these are just worse than ever. Right, let me put this now to one side to dry. Hold on. So on these ones, we'll go for these large silver flecks. Now these are all large glitters, which probably, to be fair, are not really the best. You know, it probably would be better with finer glitter. So I have also got some fine glitter to the side, which, I mean, I did try my trial one with this big glitter, but I will do a couple now with the small glitter. So hold on. Let me just get it from the floor. It's on the floor beside me. Oh, right. Okay. So this is just that fine glitter. So my bag's open here. Let's hope I don't just tip it out everywhere, forgetting which end is open and which end's not open. So again, I'm just going to pour that little dob of glossy accents on there, and then tip out my glitter on top like that. And you just want to kind of sprinkle quite a bit on there just to cover, you know, your piece. And then I press it down, which obviously, you know, not only pushes the glitter in, but it also sets the spreads the glossy accents out a bit as well. So I'm going to now leave them to dry, and then I will come back and show you what I did next. Right, so I have left all of the pieces to dry, and actually I ended up leaving them overnight because I then had a visitor and things, and so, you know, life got in the way. But to show you basically what you're going to have then, oops, I can actually get them off because they're now stuck onto the paper. So you can see there, you've got these little pieces. Now, what I'm going to do is actually give them a second coat, because I think that just, you know, makes them sort of thicker and more scrumptious. So just going to quickly do that. And again, I'm just going to use that glossy accents for these glittery ones. And obviously at this stage, it's up to you entirely whether you feel they need extra coats or not. Just pierce the hole again of my glossy accents. I don't know why it's keeps clogging up. I mean, I've only had it a couple of weeks, and used it quite a bit in that couple of weeks doing various things, so I'm not quite sure why it's not really playing the game. But anyway, so I'll just take this and pour that on there. There we go. And again, I can just kind of press that down a bit to, oops, spread it out a bit. So that's that coloured one. I'm just going to leave that obviously to one side to dry again for the second time. I've got these fine glitter ones that we did as well. So I pop them onto here. And, you know, again, as I say, it's completely up to you if you feel that they need second coats of the glitter or not. I mean, I just figure whilst I'm here anyway, you know, might as well give them a second coat, because it's really annoying if you don't. Oops, that one's actually completely stuck onto the paper. Hold on. It's really annoying if you don't, and then you wish you had. So look at those, they're just stuck now together and to the paper. Right. And then this one, which is now completely misshapen because it's obviously stuck all over the paper. Sorry about my messy hands. Obviously I have been doing some other bits and bobs like to the side here already. So I'm already messy, and we've only just switched the camera on. Right. So again, take my glossy accents, just put another blob on, like that. Okay, now I've got a big hole in my paper, so I have to be a bit careful. So again, just press down, whoops, press down lightly, or even, you know, get them stuck on your finger and tip them over. You know, any of those things go. Right, might need to put a bit more glitter on those, maybe that's why they're sticking all over my fingers. So I'll just pour some more of the glitter over now. They're so well buried, I can't even see them. Again, this is just turning into one of those, you know, how not to craft videos, which seems to be par for the course lately, but never mind. Right, so that's those. Let me just dust my fingers off so they don't contaminate the other pieces. So pop them out to the side. And I mean, obviously this does seem like a bit of a protracted process. I am literally doing this because they are pieces that I'm not really currently using, and I just figure, well, I might as well. These are my foam pieces, by the way. I'll just quickly, sorry, interrupt myself just to tell you that. These are my foam pieces, and I'm just going to, again, pop some more of that liquid pearls on. And again, trying to give it a bit of texture by keeping it a little bit on the lumpy side. Again, I'll just use that poker tool for... And I should have done the marshmallow on a stick trick again, but actually I thought they were going to be sort of stuck onto the paper now. But no, stuck onto my finger is what they are. Oh my gosh. Yep, well and truly stuck, just doesn't want to come off, in fact, at all. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Right, again, do as I'm suggesting, not as I'm literally doing, because I'm clearly making a big hash of this. Right, this one's stuck to the paper, so much easier. There we go. And, you know, just put it with a bit of texture so it's kind of lumpy-ish. Right, now that one I was having to use with my finger because I'd actually had to cut the bottle of the liquid pearls open, so that's why I was doing it that way. And then the other ones were still squeezy, so I won't have to be putting my finger right in. I will just blob it on like that, and then I will still spread it with my finger. Okay, so that one like that, and then this one, which unfortunately is not stuck onto the paper, so again it's now hanging around on me. Right, so that's those, and then the pink. Yes, so although this does seem a bit of a protracted process, I mean, obviously I am doing this because these are pieces that, you know, I haven't touched for like maybe, oh gosh, you know, years. We're talking like years. And I just think for a little bit of effort, I can actually then get some use from these things. You know, which is nice to do, because it's very irritating when you've bought things and then don't particularly use them. So I'm going to again leave those to dry. So put those out of the way. And then my final couple were the big chunks of glitter. Had I already done these? I don't think I had, but I don't even remember what I've done and what I haven't, to be honest. So again, I'm just going to dab some glossy accents on like that. And then just pop some glitter all over like that. And again, just lightly press the glitter in like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave them to dry, and I will then be back with the next part. Right, hopefully our little pieces are dry now, or certainly dry enough for us to work with. So I'm just going to now move them off onto like a separate sheet, basically. So we've got obviously these little ones here. Sorry, let me just clear my desk a little bit. Been doing multiple videos today, so in between when things are drying, I've been doing obviously different videos, so excuse my hands, very, very messy from the other things that I have been doing. So these are our little fine glitter pieces. So oops, let's just pick them all out. I think I've only got 2 more, but I could have some more buried in there, who knows. Nope, just the 2. So I'm just going to now pop that glitter back into the bag. This is where I just spill it all. Okay. Yes, I mean, I don't very often use glitter, it has to be said, and you know, it's another one of those things that, I mean, goodness only knows why, but you just get suckered into buying these things, and you know, or sometimes, you know, you've got a legitimate reason for buying them and think, well, I'm going to buy that for, you know, Christmas projects or maybe like a school project or something like that, and then, you know, invariably I don't really end up using it, but I've bought, you know, maybe a big quantity. And I mean, glitter is one of those things, I mean, a little goes a very long way. So if you've bought even one entire, you know, one of these things, I mean, that's going to last you for ages. It will go miles. So if you buy them, you know, when you buy like the whole pack of like 5 different colours or something, oh my gosh, you have got a lot of glitter there. Right, let me get that last couple from there. As you can see, I obviously added to these because I know that we only did a couple, oops, but I did a couple more because I just thought, well, while I'm doing this, I'm getting in that mindset of the mass making. So I thought, you know, whilst I've got these materials out and I'm endeavouring to use up these little metal things, I might as well do as many as I can. So there we go. So now I'm overrun with these, you know. In a year's time, you'll see me doing another video saying how to use up your, you know, craft items that you shouldn't have bought in the first place, and now you've altered, how to alter it for a second time and, you know, make them into something you're going to be using following the trend of the moment. So, yeah. Wouldn't that be, yeah, just ridiculous. But stranger things have happened. Right, these are my 2 that are that weird colour that I couldn't really describe. Right, I'm just going to put these, oh, I'm going to just put them in the bin because I'm just constantly hanging on to card that really there's absolutely no need to. Right, now, these ones here are obviously the foamy ones. So, got the green one, the pink one. Oh my gosh, I'm flicking it all around the desk. Another pink one. Oops, another green one. And then we've got those kind of like a subtle goldy, pearly type colour. There we go. Right, I'm going to turn this over. Now, what I'm now going to do is take my Distress ink and I'm just going to distress the colours basically a little bit, and then I'm going to pop them on the blue like that. Now obviously, you know, you could use anything here. I mean, you could use like some StazOn or something lightly around the edges or something like that if you wanted something with a bit more impact than just the Distress inks, because obviously the StazOn would be a much more vibrant colour. Now, I tried this before obviously doing this video and it worked okay to ink up the glittered pieces. I haven't, however, tried it on the fine glitter, so we'll see how that goes in a moment, but that's that one. I'll just do a couple of those to just give you an idea. Oops. Come back. And what's quite nice, I mean, where these are not quite 100% dry, I'm actually able to mould these in to kind of more of a circular shape, so they've got less jaggedy pieces jutting out. And these are the fine glitter, which, as I say, I mean, I haven't tried these, but hopefully, oh, they look quite nice. There we go. Now obviously I'm being very boring and just using Vintage Photo here. Obviously you could mix it up. I mean, let me just see whether I've got, hang on, I've got the Wild Honey. Should we give one of those a try? I mean, obviously I haven't tried this. I don't know how this is going to look. It might look hideous, but certainly, you know, worth giving it a try, isn't it? It actually looks quite nice. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. It looks, you know, really quite nice in that colour. So again, just ink all around that, like that, and then again just squash it in a bit at the edges so it's not so bumpy. I'll just do one or two of the fine glitter. I mean, actually I probably prefer the fine glitter to the, you know, the bumpy glitter, but I mean obviously I've got a lot of that bumpy glitter to use because I'd bought it in a, you know, multi-pack, so I'll have to stick with that bulky glitter, I think. So, and I'm just going to do one of the, oops, the foamy pieces, so you can probably see. I mean, that's really quite gold looking, which is quite nice. Perhaps I'll do the green. Oh, that green, look at that colour. Wow, that's really transformed that colour. Hopefully you could see that. So I'll do a couple more and then I'll just show you how I kind of finished these off. So there we go. I'm just going to pop the lids on these. Now obviously I have got these still to do. In fact, I'm just going to try this on the pink, because I didn't try the honey on the pink. Oh, that looks really nice too, doesn't it? Right, so obviously I'm not going to do these, you know, here with you guys, because that would be very tedious for you. So all I'm going to do is now final layer of glossy accents just over, or, you know, what effectively are going to be kind of gems or flower centres. And again, you know, you could just then spread that out a bit with your finger, or perhaps you have a better method than using your finger. I'm sure you probably do. I'm sure not everybody is just out there using their fingers for things, but okay, oops. You know, tip it over, dab it onto the card, it's all fine. There we go. And that one. And that one. And then exactly the same, I'm just going to glossy accents over the foamy ones as well. Oops. Come on. Okay. Oh, crafting is very messy for some reason. I must be doing very messy things at the moment. Oh gosh, now I've stuck it onto that messy surface. It'll probably come up now with all sorts of things stuck on it. Ugh. Oh well, never mind. Right, hopefully you've got the gist here. So again, I'm now going to just, oh, if I can get these stuck off my finger, I'm just going to leave them now to dry. So I'll put them over to one side and leave them to dry, and then I will obviously come back and show you the finished result again. Right guys, I am back now. I have a massive apology to make before I can even start this video, before I can even show my hands in fact, because whilst I was waiting for these to dry, I did the kind of first section to this video, which was dyeing some flowers. Ta-da! And my fingers. So I can only apologise. The video turned out to be a comedy, quite frankly, of how not to do it. Absolutely appalling methods. Yes, I was doing things that really are not something I should do, clearly. But anyway, so I can only really apologise. I have scrubbed my hands quite a bit, and yeah, it won't come off. Obviously by now you will have probably already seen the video that was such appalling craft methods, and you will kind of understand where I'm coming from. But it might just seem a bit strange because obviously I was crafting just now with normal looking hands, and now look at the state of me 2 seconds later. So it hasn't obviously been 2 seconds, but you know, it has to you. So that said, these are all my little flower centres now. So I'm just going to lift them up and show them to you. They look really pretty, don't they? And these are obviously all my petals that were the culprit for the state of my hands. So yeah, I can't really kind of blame the flowers because obviously I was really the culprit from my pathetic, you know, methods, and couldn't be bothered to wait and actually buy some gloves. But still, never mind. So we're just going to crack on. What I'm going to do is obviously start layering up some flowers just to show you that's how they look, obviously with those little centres. Aren't they pretty? They just look lovely, don't they? And these were obviously those little metal letters. You'll have to excuse the blue. That's obviously some of the paper that it was resting on whilst I was doing that. So that's that little one there. And that would just kind of go in there as a little centre. So you could, and I haven't tried this, so again, might eat my words if this looks absolutely rubbish, but you could maybe add a bit of lace in there. And just try cutting around this piece that was just laying around on my desk and just luckily happened to be the same, or you know, the right colour. Oops. But we can pop that in there. How pretty does that look? So I mean, to me, you know, I feel like I've gone from quite unusable flower petals and, you know, pieces of foam and metal letters that I wasn't really going to kind of use, to now what is effectively, you know, really quite a pretty flower. So if I take my fabric glue and I'm just going to apply a bit of glue in here. Like that. To glue the kind of two layers together. Oops. And then just going to put the lace in as well. Like that. And then I'm just going to take that little flower centre and pop that in there. So, you know, to me, that's gone from, I don't think I've got, oh, yeah, from, look, these yellow, horrible, you know, rubbishy looking kind of flowers to something really quite pretty and, you know, what I think is kind of really usable in my journals. So I'm just going to pop this one out the way to the side for a moment, and just we'll try layering up maybe a different coloured one. So I mean, this one is very dark, but nice. I like it like that. And we could do it with like the orange. And this was one of the foam pieces, so not glitter, but just that perfect pearls and then the glossy accents. We could pop in that one. I mean, actually, I have to say I'm really liking the glitter ones. So again, what I might do is, do I have more lace? Well, I could use the remainder of this maybe. It's not brilliant, but let's see if we can just get away with it. Just thought it was quite a good colour to use for that. So again, I'm just going to ink that up. I actually can't believe that video that I did. I'm literally mortified. And what was I thinking? I don't know. Just awful, awful techniques. So I'm just wondering, do I want that or would I prefer a different colour centre? Let me just have a bit of a rummage through. Got this greeny one, maybe I prefer that. Oh, yeah, I much prefer that. Weird, isn't it? But just sometimes you kind of get a feel for things and, you know, it doesn't work. And then you try something else and it's like, oh, yeah, definitely prefer that. So there we go. Pop that in there. And then just a bit of lace. Like that. And there. And then my foamy piece. Oops, come on. Come on, glue. There in the centre. So, I mean, again, how pretty does that look? I mean, I hope that they're looking nice on camera, especially after what we've had to endure, you know, with the rubbish crafting to get to this point. But they look really pretty. I think they look really pretty anyway. I hope you guys agree. Yeah, so that's just another kind of couple of things that we are reusing or managing to use that I've had, you know, for the longest time, both the metal you know, letters and things, and obviously these rubbishy flowers. So, I mean, hopefully now I will be able to actually put these in some projects and actually use them in some form. So, despite the rubbish crafting methods and that appalling video that I really am kind of hanging my head in shame, I hope that you've got some ideas, obviously not of techniques to use, but transformations that can be done. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching and I hope you'll join me again. Thanks then, bye.